Hey, it's me, Tammy, and welcome back to Kickin' and Streamin'. Today I'm going to be talking about the new film by Rian Johnson called Knives Out. It's that new fun murder mystery with a freaking amazing all-star cast. Now, I got to see it last weekend, but it doesn't open until Thanksgiving. So it's been fun to kind of be like thinking about that film and knowing all of the excitement that's yet to come for it. So they had a little early showing, which was kind of fun. You got a little card that said, "Welcome to his birthday party." And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So let's just get going. It had a freaking amazing cast. Couple of my favorites, Jamie Lee Curtis. Ugh, I love her. She is amazing. And it's so exciting to see an actress of her caliber still around, because unfortunately, too many times older female actors just get pushed to the side, and that just is wrong on so many levels. There was Christopher Plummer, an icon. He played Harlan. He is the patriarch of the family, and has, the story starts out, he has died, but there is a question about his death. So, mystery ensues. Chris Evans, you may know him as Captain America. I know him as America's Ass. Little Avengers joke there. And Daniel Craig. So, I mean, that's just a few of the cast members in this film. It is seriously just a freaking all-star cast. It's a huge cast of just an incredibly talented people. Rian Johnson, he wrote and directed this. He's also done Looper and, of course, last year's Last Jedi, Star Wars. So he's done a lot of things. Now, one of the things that I really have liked about when I was kind of looking at some of the people that he's cast in many things is he uses some of those actors over and over again. And I love that he's building those relationships. Even if they're not necessarily in a big role, they might just be in a fun, smaller bit part. Because of that, we had some surprise actors in this. There were some cameos that you were just like, man, he looks really familiar. I recognize that voice. Where do I know them? The big one is Frank Oz. Hello, Yoda. Do or do not. There's no try. I do a very horrible Yoda. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so all-star cast. The plot, it's very technical. Murder mysteries are. There's just something about the nature of creating that mystery is you have to have certain reveals happening so that the audience is brought along as you're unveiling the story. Now, it was fairly reminiscent. It kind of, brought back memories of some of those classic mysteries like Murder on the Orient Express, with another really large cast, or Clue. I think Clue is a classic. Now, the difference between Clue and Knives Out is the fact that Clue is super slapstick, and so it's got a lot of that comedic timing to keep the story going. Knives Out it's not a slapstick at all. I mean, there's comedic moments, but it is definitely more of that mystery element. And the whole plot revolves around, did Harlan actually kill himself, or was he murdered? And there's lots of twists and turns, and every time you think you've got something figured out, then you're like, oh wait, no, I don't. Let's try this again. Which is what the hallmark of any good mystery is going to be. So we are, the story starts right away. And so we're brought in and we're dropped in and we're trying to figure out what's going on. The police have come to interview the family again because there's been a question asked. Was he really murdered, or did he really commit suicide? And Daniel Craig plays our inspector, detective, private detective. He comes off as kind of a bumbling fool, kind of Columbo-esque. You know, it's like, oh, yeah, sorry about that, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, oh, he knows exactly what's going on. And there's some really nice character moments that he has with other characters, or other characters in the story. So he's trying to kind of guide the police through the, along, going, okay, well, this is what I thought happened. Oh, wait, no, that's not, and they're kind of on this twisty, turny path. The one thing that does happen in this film that is disappointing is it does have a little bit longer run times, a little over 2 hours, and longer doesn't always necessarily mean better. From a, story standpoint, when you're writing a screenplay, you only have between 90 and 120 pages, because one page is roughly 1 minute of screen time. Now, the problem that Knives Out had, at about 2/3 of the way through, the plot just seemed to just like come to a screeching halt, and it kind of like meanders and doesn't really do much, instead of having that same pacing that you need to have when you've got something that's so important with the timing. It has about 10-15 minutes where it just drags really, really bad. And it could have like tightened things up a little bit here and there, maybe made some different editing choices. Again, that's on the director. But once it kind of gets past that little dip in the road, it gets back on and it starts going again. So except for that little hang up, it really was a really well structured film. Something that I wasn't really necessarily expecting. You see the trailers and you're kind of expecting one thing, and that's the nice thing about this film, is it completely changed all of my expectations of what was happening, because the way it was just structured. That being said, I really enjoyed it. I walked out going, this was a lot of fun. Granted, it helped that it had a bit of eye candy in there. I might admit to a small crush on Chris Evans. Who doesn't? I mean, really. But, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's amazing. I have loved her forever. She's just been one of those icons that I've loved. Daniel Craig, Bond, I mean, hello, shaken not stirred. Anyway, I digress, because, well, that's what I do. Anyway, go see it when it comes out this weekend. You will not be disappointed. It was a lot of fun. I gave it about 3.5 out of 5 stars, maybe 4. Kind of, it would have gotten 4 if it hadn't had that dip right in the middle there. But overall, it was a lot of fun, and I liked having my expectations played with, trying to kind of figure out who really did what. So anyway, that's it for me and this episode of Kickin' and Streamin'. Hope you liked it. If you did, be sure to click the like button and subscribe. And I will see you next time, whether you're watching something in theater or streaming something at home. Hope you're having a great time, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!